Welcome to this edition of Bonehead of the Week, where you vote for the Bonehead of the Week. You decide, we break it down every Friday in the second hour. You know we broadcast live every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 2 hours on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and simulcast to the MeidasTouch Facebook page. But on Friday, Gabe, in the second hour, there's a special thing that happens here at the Tony Michaels Podcast. We go through the Bonehead of the Week vote. And if you out there are a new listener, you want to know how to vote, don't fret. You just go to @TonyMichaelsPod on Twitter. Follow us there. The poll is there also, Gabe. And we want to provide more places to have this poll. And the audience demanded it. So we put it on YouTube. So you can also vote on YouTube. So don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. You can vote for Bonehead of the Week on Twitter or YouTube every Thursday.
Yep.
Gabe, last night we were working hard on our project and we started to see these tweets come in. People are like, where's the fucking poll, you boneheads? Where's the poll, boneheads?
I posted about Jeffrey Clark in his underwear and then I saw someone go, hey, where's the poll? Which I was like, oh my God, totally forgot about. So whoever that was, if they're watching, thank you for giving me the reminder. Yeah, Tony and I were busy in meetings and I was like reading comments and then I saw that one. So whoever that was, thank you. For giving me the heads up reminder.
Right. Well, we didn't want to be the boneheads. We were trying to get the bonehead.
I mean, here's the thing. Someday it'll just be us on the show. You know, like we'll just be shitting on ourselves.
There really is cause that we could probably be. I mean, I definitely could be the Bonehead of the Week on the list every week.
Yeah, no, same. I mean, look at me. I'm doing this live right now. This is
right. I know. Well, it happens. It happens. Let's go to our poll here. On Twitter, who's the Bonehead of the Week? The contestants this week were Devin Nunes, Herschel Walker, and Elon Musk. Elon Musk. I actually haven't even looked at the results, to be quite honest with you.
I think they were.
Are they close? Are they pretty close?
Let me just check.
I don't know what the voters decide. That's the beautiful part of it. That's what me and Gabe love about the Bonehead of the Week is we put these contestants out there, and you guys actually get to decide who you want to be the Bonehead, and we just go by
double check the results here. Oh, I have them in a spreadsheet. All right.
There's no rigging here. We don't rig this.
Yep,
certify the votes.
They were different levels on each one, but there was still the first, second, third place of each poll.
Okay. Well, democracy is the king here.
Yeah.
And we have certified this vote this morning, and Gabe has the vote. But here are our contestants. We have Devin Nunes, Herschel Walker, and Elon Musk. You know, two of these guys are kind of on here for the same damn reason. Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about Devin. Who knows? Maybe he's got some sort of cow baby. But I would say that, yeah.
You mean Kevin? You mean Devin has cows that he would not claim?
I don't know. Well, not cows. He might have calves, right? Calves are baby cows.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. He might.
Are you asking me or are you telling me?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't know. I would not even know. I know about calves versus cows. I'm saying I don't know if he has baby cat.
I was gonna say when I was a kid, if Devin wants to know how to raise a calf, when I was a kid, we had bottle calves. We had a lot of them at any given point, any given time. We would get up early in the morning, we'd make bottles. Now, none of them were actually named Devin Nunes at the time. Yeah. But if I had a bottle calf today, I think that's probably what I would name it.
2020 hindsight,
right?
Yeah,
it happens. You'd
be years ahead of the joke, but man, would you be on it?
Right. Well, I'm always ahead of the curve, but not that much ahead of the curve. So, Gabe, tell us here who because I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I see who the winner is.
Yeah.
See, I'm not even aware who the winner is.
Yeah,
is it? But let's start with Mr. Elon Musk. We love knocking on Elon here. It appears that Elon Musk, I think there's a couple things in the news here. The main thing is I was correct from the very beginning. He is going to shit on this deal. He's going to shit the bed on this Twitter deal. There's no way that he's actually going to buy Twitter.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. Yeah. What's the other thing in the news, though? Well, is there another horse story?
There is not another horse story per se. There's another story that, like, I guess, the whole like sexual advance on a plane might lead to this thing, if you were to like actually go through with it, which is a baby. Turns out it's not just one baby, it's two babies. Elon Musk had twins Also, while Grimes was, I believe, they were trying to get pregnant, or she was pregnant with the second child. Meanwhile, I mean, Grimes and Elon aren't together. They're considered best friends. They love each other and they
Who's
co-parent.
Grimes?
Whatever.
Who's Grimes? That's one of
Grimes
his...
is the artist that he was with, and they had their first kid, the one that's like the X one. You remember that one?
Nah, yeah,
Oh,
sure.
it's the one. Yeah, it's the one where it's a bunch of like characters and
It doesn't actually have a name.
Yeah, it's like the XAE-12, right? And they're like, it actually said like hi. I don't know what the actual name sounds like. But when he was on Joe Rogan, he explained what the name sounds like. And Joe Rogan's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Of course it makes sense to Joe Rogan. Of course.
Right. So they have twins. He had twins with an exec at one of his companies, believe it to be Neuralink, which is the other one, which is basically the brain implant company that we basically, there's this whole idea.
This is the one that the right wingers who claim that the vaccine has a chip in it should be totally against. And this is the one reason why they should fucking hate Elon Musk more than anything.
Right. Yeah.
Like they hate Bill Gates for the thing that Elon Musk is trying to do.
Yep.
Like it's fucking crazy to me.
Because here's the thing. So like the idea is that by implanting a chip in your brain, right, like it'll advance you as a human. There's this concept called singularity, right? And this guy.
Whoa, we're getting pretty deep here.
Yeah. So there's this whole thing called singularity. I won't go too deep into it.
Right.
But basically, it's this idea that like the only way for us to advance in society with the advancements and progression that technology does is to basically become this like synergy, right? And this is one way where it's like,
are they fucking? Is the chip fucking you or something?
Basically,
okay.
Yeah.
It's fucking your brain.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the idea is through some way to, the only way for us to advance along with and help control kind of technology, especially AI, because it's AI,
Elon artificial intelligence.
Right. And Elon has said that artificial intelligence is the biggest thing that we should be afraid of, right? And the only way to make sure that it doesn't go beyond us and basically we have like a Skynet situation where it's, Terminator.
It's for us to be Skynet?
Is for us to basically become one with,
does he want to have sex with computer? Has he propositioned a computer and
it's
said,
possibly.
Hey,
he
look,
might have.
I'll buy you a horse if you just.
Yeah. He's like, look, I'll buy you a mechanical horse.
Right.
If you just.
Digital horse.
Digital horse. And it's like
not a real horse.
Right.
Computer couldn't ride a real horse. They'd have to
put it in virtual world. You can have all the horses you want as long as you give me a cyber hand job.
So, anyways, Elon Musk, the typical bonehead, always a bonehead. A lot of different reasons. He shit on the Twitter deal, of course, and he had twins, and he shit on other relationships.
And now he's got nine kids, I believe.
He has 9. There's 9 other Elon Musk running around.
9
Jesus
kids.
Fucking Christ. Crime against humanity.
I mean, one of them, his daughter, has successfully removed herself from any and all connection to him. She was like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Just the adult
whatsoever.
Child that he had, because I know one of them is an adult.
Right. She just turned 18 and then also got a name and a gender change. And the judge here in the LA court signed off on it.
I see. So
just keep in mind, not even Elon's kids, when they're legally available to be, do not want to be associated with him at all.
I don't either, but we have to talk about him because he is a fucking bonehead.
Right.
Speaking of talking about boneheads, Devin Nunes, he really shit the bed on the True Social thing. This is a guy, Devin Nunes is a guy who held a seat in California that was probably a safe seat for Congress. He could have remained a congressperson. He resigned abruptly. This isn't like he's like, oh, I'm not going to run.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done. I'm going to go be the fall guy for True, or the CEO for True Social, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah. Basically, he was like, I'm done. I'm gone. I see this opportunity, this once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah.
It's a great opportunity to go to federal prison for
of
Trump.
This Trump world and Trump technology or whatever the fuck it's called.
Well, I don't blame Devin Nunes here because he really wanted to go over to True Social and make sure that they couldn't open accounts that had anything to do with cows. You can't. He really wanted to put a stop to that. That was his main priority, his main goal here. I'm sure it was his main motivation.
I do want to make one correction. I saw in the chat here, and actually, thank you for correcting me. He doesn't have 9 kids. He has 10 kids. He has 10 children. Sorry, apologies.
Again,
just want to
crime against humanity.
Forgot one.
Crime against humanity.
Yeah.
Elon
Anyway,
Musk procreating is a
I
crime
know.
against humanity.
But back to Devin. Yeah, Devin is a guy who so sensitive, so sensitive. God forbid an account on Twitter as a cow. He felt so threatened by it that he wanted to take legal action. That Twitter account that's run by a cow, the Devin Nunes cow, very funny person, very funny account. And the fact that you're going to take legal action to go against an account because they're like, oh, it's not even they're saying anything really mean or anything like defamatory. It's just they're fucking making fun of you.
Right. Right.
They're
Well,
joking. They're making it. They're
pussy,
goofing.
just like Trump.
And yeah, he's like, oh, no, they can't say that. And it's like, dude, free speech, bro.
Do you think Trump used something against Devin Nunes to get him to do this? Because I don't believe that you would give up a congressional seat to do this type of shit.
I don't know. I mean,
or do you
Devin
think
Nunes
he just really believed the bullshit?
Well, I mean, Devin Nunes.
Everyone knew this Trump True Social thing was a bunch of
it was
cow shit, as you put it here.
The thing is, Devin Nunes has been Trump's lapdog for
a long time,
for years, right? I mean, there were the moments when I'm trying to remember the exact event, but he was running basically between his office and the White House. He's
to
like,
give them information on the Russia collusion.
I gave you a heads up. This is what they're saying about the Mueller investigation. And then
run back and
then run back. I mean, like most active amount of time in his life ever, right? He was running a marathon between both office and the White House.
And it kind of made him famous. Him famous.
I mean, he, I think there was one report where like interview where he was caught kind of there, like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I was just giving Trump a heads up. And they're like, what? And he's like, oh, no, they gotta go. And then he, runs off. But Devin Nunes is that type of person where he will. I don't know if he has something on him. He very well could have something dirt on him, or he could just be like that much of a cuck. And he says, "Hey guys, I love Trump.
I'll be honest with you. I really wanted Devin Nunes as the alpha cuck, but we couldn't not put him on the bonehead list.
Right. Yeah.
Because what you tweet here, Trump's media company has become an utter failure. And now Devin Nunes is left holding a big bag of cow shit, because it is likely that if there is criminal prosecutions, Devin Nunes will be at the forefront of these criminal prosecutions. And let me tell you something, folks. These prosecutors all around this country, now that Trump is exposed and he's vulnerable to criminal prosecutions, boy, are they going to pile on. So anywhere they can, they will pile on, whether it's about True Social, it's about January 6th, his business in New York, whether it's about the actual document, that's classified documents that he stole from the White House. There's going to be a lot of shit that's going to come down on this stupid bastard. But Harold Tribunier has that you retweeted. The actual story here is why Devin Nunes is such a dumb fuck and he's such a bonehead is just a couple weeks before there were federal subpoenas to the True Social. Well, what's it called? The actual company.
Trump
Technology, Trump Fax Machine Technology, or some shit. They actually had a fax number, I think, in their thing.
Trump Media and Technology Group.
Oh, Media and Technology Group. Okay, so it's all a fraud.
Right.
It's all a fraud.
I mean, to tell you this much, Trump leaves this group should be as much of a red flag as anything else.
Just the name Trump in the actual company name be like, maybe, just maybe, I should stay away from that.
It's like, look, he's leaving the company that owns the app that is all about truth,
and it's all about him. I mean, let's face it. True Social. The only reason why True Social exists is for Donald Trump to tweet and for everyone to fucking jerk him off because he's tweeting.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why we have the Alpha Cuck this week, because we like to make fun of it over there every now and again. And you do a great job of making fun of it over there. But, I mean, there are actual statements over there. Now, we don't post a lot of the real ones, but I encourage people to actually go over and look at them and see how this guy is.
I mean, we did share the ones that happened in real time that we thought were important, which happened.
Cassidy Hutchinson,
exactly, right? For someone giving a testimony, he was shitting his pants, changing the diaper.
And he's been freaking out this week, and he's freaking out probably today
right now,
because of Pat Cipollone. Because if Pat Cipollone actually testifies and does not take the fifth, he is fucked. But here's the thing with this actual probe, this federal probe for subpoenas, they're probing the actual investment structure of True Social because it looks like it's a money laundering scheme. And what is funny about this is someone tipped Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. off here. Someone tipped them off because they left the board just weeks before it was subpoenaed.
Mm-hmm.
And Devin Nunes is left, like you said, holding the big pile of cow shit. And Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. have skated away from these subpoenas, at least for now, in this scheme, this investment scheme of Truth Social. So we will actually, and there was 2 federal subpoenas. We'll probably be seeing more.
Yeah.
But the board members were.
I mean,
the other board member was Kash Patel. That was taken off too, which I think is significant in the January 6th stuff. It's almost like Donald Trump tipped off Kash Patel too to make sure he wouldn't go, because he's been one that has not been cooperative with the January 6th select.
Yeah.
It's almost like Kash Patel knows something, and Donald Trump is giving him benefits for knowing these things and not saying them. It almost seems that way. It almost.
I mean, because who knows, right? Like, much like Marjorie Taylor Greene's kind of the trial that she had about the Georgia election, they're asking questions because, one, they wanted to get the answer, but 2, they wanted it on the official record because then it can be used against her. So, I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of kind of collaboration on this, or some sort of foresight to say, if we get the subpoena and we ask this person questions, maybe it's tangentially related, but it's on the record, right? And it opens the door for other questions or an investigation. And if Trump or whoever is kind of advising him to say, look, you need to remove anyone at all that knew or had some sort of whisper of what happened on January 6th, because what they're going to do possibly is they're going to come after one of these people, and then they're going to get them to open up and say, great, we won't prosecute you on this thing that we're investigating if you also talk about this, right?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot of that in the Trump world.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucks in the Trump world, because we'll move on from the boneheads, we're going to move on to the one of our dishonorable mentions here, and we were talking about him earlier. Unjustice Brett Kavanaugh, and this motherfucker thinks he has the right to go into a restaurant and have a steak. It's not a right, it's a privilege. And Morton's actually steps in. I think it happened at Morton's Steakhouse, right? This is a company.
Yeah.
I've never.
They've got all of it. We've got one in Chicago. I mean, they're all over the place.
Right, but I've never been into a Morton's. Is it any good? Have you been to one?
I've been to one. I've been to the one in Chicago that's off of State Street, and it's okay. I mean, there's nothing special about it. The show, The League, it was on FX. Like that's based. They always meet next to the Mortons or whatever it is downtown.
I see.
But it's it's a steakhouse, right? Like it's the only, I would say, like the American kind of thing. Like everything else we kind of like take from other people, right? Like, oh, this type of food, and I feel like steakhouse is like the only kind of quasi American type of like dish or like setting, right? That's right. It's been around. So. But yeah, there's nothing really like special about it. It's not like incredibly fine dining. You could walk in there with
right. Well, I mean, you could go to other chains like Colton's or Texas
exactly.
Roadhouse or
any
of these other places when you could get just as good of a cut of meat. And it's not like Morton stands out. But apparently, Brett Kavanaugh was in the DC Mortons. There's apparently a Morton's in DC, which it would make sense that Brett Kavanaugh would go to a stupidly branded steakhouse, right? I mean, that makes sense, and think that it's some kind of fucking big, huge deal. But the thing is after apparently some abortion rights activists came in and were yelling or screaming or disrupting the dinner, and he had to leave. And Morton's was very upset.
Yeah.
Morton's was very upset. Now, Morton's has the right to actually kick those protesters out. They just like when we talk about the people who were going to Burger King demanding a Whopper and causing a big ruckus, they actually had the right to ask them to leave. Just like Morton's has the right to ask people to leave. But Morton's kind of stepped in it here. They stepped in it where they actually were saying.
But they didn't even go inside. From what I read, they were outside.
Right. So that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Is as long as they remained outside,
right,
and as long as they remained off of Morton's property,
just like people were outside on public property for any of the justices, especially Brett Kavanaugh's home.
Right, but in the case where they would get to go inside, Morton's has the right to get them off of their property. But once they're off the property, they can yell and scream. Yeah. I made this case before with the Whopper thing where people were saying this. And I said, well, it's kind of like you don't have the freedom to go into a business and do whatever you want. Like you can't walk into Morton's and jump over the counter and run in the back and cook your own steak. You don't have the right to do that. It's their business. It's their private property. They're running a business. They have the right to operate it without impediment of you being a silly fuck. Right. And they actually have that right because they have a business license with the government. But here's the thing is that you don't have the right to go paint on the walls at Walmart that you hate fucking Walmart, but you do have the right to stand on the public sidewalk. It's outside Walmart, not on their property, but off their property and yell and scream that you hate Walmart. That's the freedom of speech. That's the actual freedom of speech. Now, people practicing their freedom of speech here and Morton's being upset that Brett Kavanaugh had to leave his dinner early. They really stepped
Didn't even get his dessert, Tony.
Oh, man. That's probably the most disappointing thing.
Dessert.
Sounds like the steak sucked and he was waiting for the chocolate malted cake with the ice cream. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? Most of these steakhouses,
they have the same thing. It's the molten chocolate in with the big lava scoop. Cake inside. Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's got the scoop and then they put the fudge on the it's fucking most places. It's pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. You can tell I like food. And I don't blame Brett Kavanaugh for being a little upset that he didn't get his dessert, and he probably had to cry in his beer because there were people outside calling him a fascist. But this goes to the video that we watched of Rudy Giuliani and Andrew Giuliani the other day, where people are yelling and screaming at them and not giving them peace in public. If you're going to show your face in public from now on, if you're a fascist and you try to overturn our government, you try to take our fucking our democracy away from us, then we're not gonna put up with that, and we're gonna call you what you are.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
I love this. You took an action, and there is a consequence.
I love this picture, by the way. Fuck SCOTUS, because this shows you this. Now, this isn't outside the Mortons, but this just shows you what people are about. And with President Biden signing the executive order today, this only gives more people more hope against fascist fucks like Brett Kavanaugh and SCOTUS, that Democrats are going to try to protect reproductive rights. Republicans are the ones trying to rip it away.
Yeah.
And which
the people who are pro-life are not pro-life.
No,
crazy.
No. Oh, who'd have thunk it? So there you have the dishonorable mention of the day, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, which brings us to the alpha cuck. And I'm not going to spend much time on this, but because we really got to get to our winner here.
Yeah.
Before we close. But our alpha cuck has a special place in our heart.
Also, keep in mind, this was the audience vote. This week, the audience.
That's right.
That's what the people wanted.
So
we did.
If the person who is the alpha cuck is watching and they're offended by this, we did not choose this.
Yeah.
We
people
do not
in the chat.
Right. The people in the chat, we let them choose. It was a very tried to be a democratic process.
We are allies of democracy.
Right.
We are not a danger.
And we definitely will not laugh at the expense of someone for our democracy. We are very serious here, Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
We do not operate in satire
on Bonehead of the Week.
We definitely do not operate in the realm of satire or parody or even laughing. That would be egregious. And that is a danger to our democracy, to laugh and have humor. That would be a danger to our democracy.
Tony, laughing's not a right. It's a privilege.
I know. We have our alpha cuck of the week here, Seth Who, as we refer to him now. Seth Who?
Seth Who? Because again, I didn't know who this was until he told his nearly 1 million followers to block me.
Right. So, he's a self-proclaimed journalist, is what he is. This self-proclaimed journalist.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat here said that we should make sure to put a disclaimer on it.
Oh my God.
We
forgot the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Redo the tile quick. Make sure to mark it satire, and it's safe for Seth Abramson to look at it. Otherwise, he might be confused. Oh my God, it could be a danger. It could topple our democracy at any moment. for this tile to be up there.
Yeah,
What a
God
fucking
forbid the
bonehead.
January 6th hearings or anything else that's happening, the governor races.
Right.
It's all about that
Exactly.
2024 race and Trump versus DeSantis.
That's right. And if you make any jokes whatsoever about it, you are the problem. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I hope he keeps doing Instagram lives though. I think it brought us some viewers. So thanks, Seth for all the for all the new followers that Gabe's has. Thank you very much for helping us out and giving us a boost in the follower category this week, because what's good for Gabe is good for the show. So, and by the way, go follow Gabe at I am Gabe Sanchez
and the show and Tony.
Yeah, follow it all, but make sure to stuff it in the Alpha Cuck's face, because that's really why he should be the Alpha Cuck, because he thought he was an alpha. He got butt hurt because he got tricked by your satire, which was a beautiful piece of satire, if I do say so myself. And he got tricked by it. He got butt hurt. He got pissed off that he didn't do his due diligence. He got egg on his face. He didn't look like the journalist that he proclaims to be.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do 2 minutes worth of research to figure out that this wasn't a statement on True Social. He fucked up. He got mad. It got personal for him. He actually came and he fucking tried to pull an alpha on you and tell people to block you.
Right.
And he got cucked hard.
Yeah. I mean, I said it yesterday. I was like, I have no problem with him having an issue with the piece of content. He could have easily made a different tweet. He could have sent me a message. He's a big account. I'm sure he can find his way to the DMs. He was a journalist.
He could have messaged us and
that's
verified
that's the biggest thing, right?
Jesus
One,
Christ,
making the assumption that I was bragging in my bio, which was not related to this release. He made the assumption that it was me who made it. And then the fact that he did not do his research and he posted it, and then somebody said, it's not real. And then he said, oh, shoot. And then decided whether, an emotional state or he felt embarrassed or
it's personal.
Tricked. He took it out on me.
Jesus Christ, he went on Instagram Live for like 3 hours and talked about this guy. Couldn't say you're fuck. He'd say
Tony, it wasn't really 3 hours, okay? You have to put a disclaimer on that
as
well.
My God, yeah. I got to tell the fucking whole, Jesus Christ.
We'll start a thread. It'll be a long thread.
Right. Like 460,000 fucking tweets in a thread of why we disclaim that Seth Who is an alpha cuck. He's the fucking alpha cuck. You know what we should do? We should take that tile and post that sumbitch on Twitter and let people spread that around. I'm just saying. Now, we definitely want to market satire, though, on Twitter, because Jesus Christ.
There's two things we got to mark. One, that it's a joke. And two, that other people voted for it. We didn't vote for it.
Right. It's not a joke. I'm serious. He is an alpha cuck. It's not a joke, Seth. You're an alpha cuck. Okay, we don't discriminate here. Not only do we go against these fucking shitheads like you see here, but we also attack people who claim to be good for democracy, but do opposite when they attack pro-democracy people and pro-democracy content. So let's get back to the bonehead of the week. We have the winner. Herschel Walker was our winner, but was it? You said it was close. It was close, or was it not close in the aggregate?
In the aggregate, it was not close for him. It was kind of close between Nunes and Musk, but it wasn't close.
Okay, so he got out front for Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
You think it's just because he's like just inherently a bonehead? Like it doesn't really have to do with the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just
the story that's out there for bonehead. It's a continuation of a story that's already happened.
But also, that's not the only thing that happened.
What am I missing?
This morning, another, which I didn't get too much time to read into, but basically the gist of it is he partnered in 2012 with this energy company, and they've been accused by multiple states of deceptive practices. So let me say that again. Herschel Walker partnered in 2012 with an arm of an energy company, and he was accused by multiple states of deceptive practices, which is interesting because he also got charged or investigated for deceptive practices under his veteran organization, right? So this guy has a track record. There is a behavior and a pattern in place where he does the same shit, but for different people.
So this is an energy. This isn't the chicken company that he always.
No, this is not the chicken.
He's always
company.
talking about
the veteran company. This is not him graduating in the top 1% and actually graduating from University of Georgia. This is about an energy company.
You're telling me he didn't graduate from the University of Georgia, the UGA? You're telling me that?
I'm just saying facts. Facts
matter.
say the facts matter.
Fuck. You know, our alpha cuck may be able to go do a little bit of research on that for us.
Yeah.
Here's Christopher has it new. Herschel Walker partnered with an energy company accused by multiple states of deceptive practices. Sounds like a match made in heaven, since deception is on brand for Walker. Herschel Walker isn't worthy of being Georgia's senator. That's for sure.
Right.
CNN has the article here.
I mean, the more and more that news comes out about Herschel Walker, the more and more he becomes the perfect ideal candidate for the Republican Party, right? He
And
holds all
Bonehead
of their
of the week.
ideals. And Bonehead.
Like, I mean, just place him on there there's a lot of people we could place on this poll every
but
week.
Even this week, right? So like the story that was as you were mentioned earlier, is a continuation of the story of his secret children, right?
It has an Elon Musk smell to it.
It's got a bit of a Musk, and sure, yeah, for sure. And you find out that not only did he have these 3 additional children that he did not disclose, right? And he was like, "Oh no, everybody knows it. I've been very honest about it, and I've told my campaign." Turns out, Herschel Walker is notorious for lying, and he dodged the claims about whether the team didn't know he had multiple secret children. Turns out he kept the campaign team in the dark. He didn't tell anyone. Nobody knew until the Daily Beast dropped that article that exposed him for the liar that he is, and the person that is creating broken homes, fatherless homes. The thing that Herschel Walker is like the thing that he goes against, right? He has campaigned against the societal problems we have in America are all due and can be traced back to fatherless homes. Yet he is a creator of 3 of those homes.
And he lied to his campaign about all this.
Right.
That's
and now people now people in the campaign are coming out and being like,
"This is fucking ridiculous."
Nobody knew. We were all lying.
Right. He lied to us.
face.
Did you see the video where Lauren Windsor asked him if he had abortions? Have you seen this video? Because that's one.
Is that the one where he's at what looks like he's at Mar-a-Lago or some sort of event, and he kind of like walks it off, or is it a different one?
Here it is. Let's watch.
Hi there. So nice to meet you.
See you. Do
you mind?
I'm doing well.
I am. How are you? Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. And I really, I don't want to sound rude in asking this, but, as a Christian and all the attacks that you're going through right now, I understand that, you had other children that weren't.
I love how she sets them up, by the way.
Yeah,
she totally,
I mean, good.
Oh my God, she's fucking.
She's like, as a Christian, I totally know you're under attack. Like, as soon as you say Christian, you're under attack, and he's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
so I feel for what you're going through right now.
Like,
she's very good.
She's fucking excellent to get these stupid bastards to talk.
Yeah. I do wonder. I want to ask. Hopefully, we can get her on the show. We've had like some back and forth trying to.
Yeah, we tried to get her on the show,
but we're both busy with different things happening.
Right.
So one thing
she's very busy out there trying to.
Right. So it's like finding the time would be amazing. But I do have one question, which is like, when you go to these places, right? Because she's had Senator Ron Johnson multiple times on video in different events. So what I want to know is she wearing different setup, hair different?
Well, he has to know
makeup?
Who she is now, because there is that recent video of her and Ron Johnson in the airport. I believe it's the
Right.
airport, where in the terminal, where she's talking to him and asking him about the envelope that was given to Mike Pence by his staff. He was trying to blame the staff. It's really unclear whether Ron Johnson's a traitor or not. Well, I mean, it's not that unclear.
Right.
The evidence will come out. Ron Johnson, you are a fucking Putin's puppet and you're a traitor. But we'll find that out. But there's that one where I think at some point they know who she is, right? It's hard to maybe disguise yourself. So I would like to ask her that too. Like, at what point have you ever walked up to one of these people and they're like, I know who you are?
We don't see her side. So it's like, are you going in like Sacha Baron Cohen and you got a whole disguise on, or are
very
you
nice,
like
very nice?
Yeah, I like. It's like, if you get someone else, eventually I think it's going to get to the point where she's got to like send in other, like operatives, we'll call them, right? And then
but
she's
she
got
has
an
to,
earpiece
she has to
to send it in.
pretend. In most cases, she has to pretend and really stroke this
Right.
gross fascist
Yeah.
Christian shit where she's tricking them like she is here. Let's watch.
Your wife. I could still support you though if you just. I don't want it to come off as rude at all, but you've never like funded an abortion or cause somebody to have.
No, of course not. I wouldn't lie about it either. No, I lie about everything else. So why would I lie about this? No. Come on. Do you believe this for a second?
No.
Of course he's paid. Of course
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Just like Donald Trump.
Right.
He's paid, you know?
Absolutely.
He's had someone to do an NDA. You know, it would be a question for Michael Cohen, you know,
Now,
but I'm sure he's on an NDA as well.
I would doubt Elon Musk has, because he's got 10
He
kids.
seems to be like, yep, ship
He
him.
seems to be
Let's
totally
go.
right.
He's like, look, when they come out, they get their
Okay.
own
That's
Tesla
right.
ready to go.
Fuck it. Let's do this. Tesla crib. Let's finish watching.
Have an abortion because I just, you know, the stuff about your children. You're standing up and you're being a good man.
I've been doing that forever. That's why I said it. I think that's what I told him. I take care of all my kids. You look at the report that show you that. I want to be his dad.
Okay, so she approaches him. She has got some kahunas here too.
Yeah,
because she's in these events. There's a lot of security around some of these people, you know, and she's right up against them. She's not like back shouting away from them. She's right up to them. She's right in their grill. She's asking them the questions that everyone wants to know.
And she's also like on the fly is able to be like, boom,
right.
You know, continue with the, you know, she's obviously got a character, which is more or less the same character for everyone, which is like, you're white, you're Christian, you know, you believe in God. It's a Republican Party. These are all things that, you know, the character doesn't really need to change at all for the people that she's coming after. But she's very, very good about like on the fly being like, cool. Okay, cool. This is what I like. Oh, yeah, no, totally. Like very endearing and, you know, understanding them as the victim, you know, and making sure that they feel important. Right.
Right. That way they'll see their guts. You know, it reminds me as we sit here and think about this and watch Herschel Walker be the bonehead of the week here. But Lauren Windsor is what James O'Keefe wishes he was, right? Like Undercurrent does what Project Veritas claims to do. Yeah. Right. They always set it up. They're always in a restaurant. It's always pre-staged and shit. She's not doing that. She's going straight to the fucking source. She's talking to these people. She's getting the actual footage of it right there. So thank you, Lauren, for the video of the bonehead of the week, Herschel Walker, because he is a bonehead. So Gabe, let's give him his due. I just want to point out to everybody that Herschel Walker in that animated video that we do every day, he really looked like an uncondom boner in the middle there. I'm just saying, maybe just if anybody out there, don't cut that up and put a condom over it. I'm just saying, Herschel Walker doesn't seem to know how to use one. Yeah. Just giving you that piece of advice. So thank you for Herschel Walker being our bonehead of the week. And thank you for voting, everyone, for bonehead of the week. Make sure to go to @TheTonyMichaelsPod on Twitter and follow me and Gabe. Definitely follow Gabe. Piss off the alpha cuck that we have this week. Get that following up there, way up there. And go follow us, and you can vote on @TonyMichaelsPod. You also need to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe. I like that graphic. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also vote for Bonehead of the Week there every Thursday. You guys know we broadcast our show every single weekday, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And we simulcast from the MeidasTouch Facebook page. But on Fridays in the second hour, we do Bonehead of the Week, where you vote for the Bonehead of the Week. You decide, and we break it down for Bonehead of the Week. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Bonehead of the Week.